Hello, beautiful friend, and happy Monday to you. I hope that you are doing really well. I hope that you had a wonderful week last week, and I hope that you are coping with everything that's going on in life and the world right now. It's quite a lot. And I have been sensing that, a lot of people are kind of feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now, and just that, life is lifing at the moment. And yeah, I just hope that you're doing okay, and I'm sending you so much love and so much just encouragement for for if you are one of those people for whom life is lifing at the moment. So you might notice I selected a couple extra crystals today. I'm using some more protective style crystals today. I have also got my singing bowl over here, and then I also have some Nag Champa incense because preparing to read for this today, or preparing to start for this reading today, I have been feeling quite like how can I explain it? I want to, but I'm tired, and I feel a bit resistant to it today. And I don't think that that's my energy, because I've been pretty productive lately, so I don't think that that belongs to me. It does feel as though I'm picking up on sort of more of a general energy right now. So hence, I decided to add some additional crystals for us today, just to really give us the little bit of maybe a boost that we need in the sense of the energies. The heavy, maybe a little bit heavier, more dense, sort of overwhelmed sort of emotions and energies. I'm really genuinely hoping that that's not the case for the majority of us. But if that is you right now, I just want you to know it's going to be okay. You are not alone through this. You have so many people in your life that, can be there and support you and can act as guides for you, hopefully myself included. So please, please, please just be gentle with yourself. Show yourself so much love and compassion. And let's see what the cards have to say for you today. So I'm going to just light this incense. I just feel like we need an extra little boost today. So let me see. When that's lit, I'll let the flame go out by itself. And that is a nice strong flame. So I feel like we really, really need this today. Oh, it's still going. Okay. They say you're not supposed to blow out the flame. Oh my goodness, I've never seen it go quite this wild before. So definitely feel like this is some serious energies, but there is so much going on right now. I know I was joking with a friend of mine the other day. There's another tarot reader on Instagram who talks about, his name and his crappy astrology. And I feel like this is Lauren's crappy astrology. But, Venus is moving in, she's coming out of retrograde. So that's been a big deal recently. Pluto's going retrograde. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on with Mars and Neptune, and there's just so much. And it's been constant, and I feel like a lot of us are actually feeling just a little bit of those, like we're being pulled in multiple directions at the same time. So anyway, let's see what the oracle decks and the tarot have to say today. So I am using this beautiful deck by Rebecca Campbell. This is the Work Your Light oracle cards, and such a beautiful deck. Really encouraging, and I love the cards. And then we also have my wonderful Tarot of Mystical Moments deck here from Katrin Weltstein. It's one of my favorite decks. A dear friend of mine bought this deck for me, so it's very close to my heart. So let's start with some oracle cards today. And excuse the lighting. The lighting's not the best today. I'm based in South Africa, and we're in the middle of winter at the moment, and the skies have been quite dark and gloomy lately. So, oh, I'm not actually surprised to see this coming out. So we have get grounded, empaths, highly sensitives, and connect with nature. And I'm trying to think where else this message of groundedness has been coming out, because I definitely have been getting this sense, recently, and I'm sure that I've heard this somewhere else as well. I think maybe from I'm an astrologer that I listened to, just about really, oh, that's what it was. Sorry, there was a wave of, Emmy's sun energy that was coming through recently. And it was a TikTok video that somebody shared with me, just talking about how we really need to ground ourselves right now, just because of the energies that are coming through. And just the way that is affecting us. It's really, really important for us to ground ourselves right now. So I'm just trying to find this card for us in the book, because I don't really know the the meanings of these cards out of my head. So I want to supplement it with the book. But of course, I mean, grounding is fairly straightforward. It makes sense. We have this beautiful, figure sitting in this very deep meditative state, deep in the woods by the looks of it. And we have some strong, powerful ascended master spirits in the background, and deep, deep roots into the earth. These magnificent trees, which are clearly quite old, and rooting deep into the earth. And she is aligning all of her chakras right down into the bottom of the chakras below, that are below our body. She's grounding all the way down into the earth. So I think this is a very strong message that we need to really, really connect ourselves back into the earth right now. Spend some time in meditation, spend some time just, if you can, outside in nature, really sitting on the grass, if you can, be around trees, just even, leaning up against a tree trunk and just having, a quiet 10-minute meditation even is so powerful and such a really lovely, beautiful experience, because I think it's something that a lot of us don't get to do very often. Even if you just have a tree in your backyard, it's the same powerful energy. So I can definitely recommend getting rooted into the earth. So I'm going to read from the book as well. So it says, empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. You are being called to get grounded, to ensure that your luminous field is clear and your inner well is full. If you're not grounded, it's all too easy to get swept up in other people's energy and mistake it for your own. Your boundaries will become blurred as you're absorbing the energies around you and struggling to define what is their stuff and what is yours. Isn't that so true? Especially for those of us that identify as empaths. If you pulled this card, you are very likely an empath or a highly sensitive person and need time alone to fill up your well. Balance your energy and get grounded. There are two types of people: those who draw their energy from others and those who draw their energy from within. Reflect on which one you are and carve out time each day to ensure your well is being replenished. Being sensitive is a superpower, but like all powers, it needs to be nurtured in order to be fulfilled. It is easy to get swept up in the high frequency energies that are swirling around the planet. The quickest and most effective way of clearing all of this from your energy field is to ground yourself by connecting with Mother Earth. There are many ways to get grounded. One of the most powerful ones is to practice earthing by connecting to the power of Mother Earth. Spend time in nature. Put your hands on a tree. Your palms are an extension of your heart chakra. Or walk barefoot on the earth. So, anything that you can do to get grounded and connected with the earth at this time will be really beneficial for you. So please, please consider getting outdoors whenever you can, whenever it's convenient for you. So let us pull some cards from the tarot deck. We really got 1, 2. Okay, great. Somebody is very talkative today. And in the back of the deck, we have the moon in reverse. So that's interesting. You know, we're coming out of this maybe a little bit of confusion and a sense of not having sufficient clarity in our lives, which I quite enjoy. Great. So I'm going to put these here. I'm just trying to establish a way that we can see all of the cards. Let me put these up here, and then maybe I can put this. Just move these. Sorry, just bear with me for a second. Just trying to fit everything in on this little desk that I've got over here. Okay, great. So we have the King of Swords, the 10 of Wands, the 4 of Swords, and the 8 of Pentacles. And these are all in reverse. We are in our heads. We are in our own heads. We are very much in our own energy. We are very, I can see the overwhelm. I can see that genuine feeling a little bit tired at this point in time. And that can also, reflect back onto the concept of just feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now with the energies that are going on, and really needing to connect back into ourselves and get grounded into earth, because there's definitely something going on here. You know, when cards are in the reverse position, it can either mean that there's a reversal of the energy, as in, it's the opposite meaning of what the card normally talks about. But for me, I quite like to read these as also internal energies. So these are things that are happening within you, within yourself. So it's generally when I feel like people are doing introspective work, we're looking at ourselves, we're really trying to understand what is going on in our own hearts, our own minds, our own bodies, all of that. So, and I can see that even here with this 4 of Swords, having this little bit of a internal lull perhaps. And I think that also has to do with the 10 of Wands over here. But let's go through the cards one by one and see what the story wants to tell us. So first up, we have this King of Swords, and this is in the reverse position. In this deck, this is a female King of Swords, and you can see that she has this needle in her hands that she's using to weave lights across the sky. And usually the King of Swords talks about a person who is very sort of, has their head screwed on, right? Who really is very balanced in their thinking, who's kind of mastered the art of clear, critical thinking. Somebody who really can execute on their plans, who just really mentally fit, I want to say. But in this example here, or in this card here, we have this in the reverse. So that could show that maybe we're having a little bit of a hard time right now, really putting our thoughts together, really getting clarity on what it is exactly that we're doing, what we're trying to achieve. Things might be a little bit murky right now. We might not have a clear picture of exactly just what's going on in our heads. I actually think I can relate to this. For the last 2 or 3 days, my brain has been feeling very cluttered. I've been feeling a bit overwhelmed with all the thoughts that are happening in my head now that I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to go to sleep at night, and my brain is just running like 5 multiple conversations at the same time. And it's been a little bit frustrating actually, because I'm trying to sleep, and my brain is just like, whoa, all these things, and what about this, and did you do this? And I feel like this is sort of a similar sort of energy, where it's like you're trying to get a clear picture, you're trying to weave together a sensible sort of coherent train of thoughts. Like this feels like all these little thoughts like in a row, like, okay, cool, we're going to do one thing, then we're going to do the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And it feels as though somewhere along the way that's kind of trailed off a little bit, where we may be getting a little bit like, oh, okay, we've hit a bit of a bump in the road, and now things are getting a little bit unraveled, and all of a sudden they're not making as much sense. It feels like we can't get this stitched in place. So you might be having a little bit of that sense of feeling, and then we also have her kind of her head in the clouds, I guess, in this image, because she's in the reverse position here. And maybe we're off thinking about too many things at once, or maybe we're off dreaming too much. Maybe we are not applying critical thinking. Perhaps we are more focused on dreams and ideas right now, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But it can be really difficult to achieve, your dreams if you are not allowing yourself to think practically. So, there's that whole concept of, dreams need a practical plan in order to be realized. And like, it's wonderful to dream. I'm a big fan of dreaming. But if you want to actually move forward with things in your life and really be able to reach those dreams, you have to have a practical plan. It's just, there's no way you'll be able to achieve something without having that practicality. And again, it is about being grounded. It's about being able to ground your ideas into this 3D reality, into this actual existence, to be able to really, really ground yourself through practical manifestation, I want to say. Then we have the 10 of Wands over here, and you can see that this person is carrying a rather heavy load, even though it is beautiful flowers that they've been picking in the field. It's still weighing her down. She's still being literally stooped over. She can barely even stand up straight. She's trying to collect more flowers, but she's having a little bit of a hard time here because it's starting to weigh on her. And I find that quite an interesting concept, because it might also have to do with this, this King of Swords that we have here, where having all these ideas, having all these wonderful things that we're trying to do and achieve is great. And Wands is also, about fire, passion, creativity. So this could just reflect, again, that same thing of too many ideas, not enough action, or perhaps you are feeling overwhelmed by the amount of opportunities going on in your life, even, or the amount of things that you're trying to do. So are you overburdening yourself? Are you trying to do too many things at the same time? Are you not getting enough rest? Are you are you not actually allowing yourself to witness your limitations? I know I'm very guilty of this. I have I think I mentioned this last week as well, but my therapist says that I have a Renaissance soul, and that's somebody who just wants to explore every single thing and try so many different things and learn so many different things. And I really have a very, very long list of all the things that I'm interested in and all the things that I'm trying to achieve and to realize in my own life. And I have to really, recently especially, I've had to really be practical. I've had to kind of look at that list and go, well, I'm one person. I have one lifetime, which means I have a finite number of years that I'm operating in. And I have to be realistic about the fact that there are some things on that list that I am not going to get to in this lifetime. And that's literally just because the list is too long and time is, finite. So there's nothing I can do about that. I can only be more critical in the way that I approach my lists and the way that I think about my dreams. How can I achieve the most of the things that I would want to do without ignoring the most important things, right? I have to look at that list and go like, okay, well, what do I really, really want for myself? What do I really, really care about? What are things that, yes, I'd like to know about that, but maybe that's not my top 3 things that I want to experience in this specific lifetime. Then you know what? I can put that on a separate list that is kind of like, if I ever get the time to do it, then I can do those things. But for now, what is the most important thing that I really, really, really want to do? What is my heart saying to me? This is something that really lights me up, that I really, really, really get excited about. You can think about your dreams in that way and allow yourself to really choose the things that light you up instead of trying to do everything at the same time and genuinely overburdening yourself. So this next card is also piggybacking off of that idea of, this is supposed to be a card of rest, but we have this in the reverse as all the other cards, and this person's supposed to be resting in this beautiful crescent moon, but she is in reverse. So she's literally, it actually looks like she's trying desperately to hold on, but she's actually being chucked out of her bed kind of thing. And that could be like we're not allowing the rest to come through in our life. We're really trying too hard to be everything and do everything and maybe help everybody and achieve so many things, but not taking into consideration that we are beings that are of the earth and part of nature, and we're not indefatigable. We're not we don't have a limitless resource, and everything in nature rests. Everything in nature rests, and we are part of nature. We are part of this world. And that means that we also need to rest. We also need to be able to recognize when we are doing too many things, when we are, running ourselves a little bit ragged, and it becomes clear to us in our thoughts, in our body. We're not grounding ourselves into the earth. We're not acting as though we're part of nature. We're trying to push, make all these things happen. And we're just going to burn ourselves out completely. And then we're going to be of no use to anybody, And that's really not something that we want for ourselves. And I think the easiest way to really combat something like this is to just think of yourself as a friend. If you saw yourself, if you saw a friend of yours trying to operate in life the way that you are currently operating, what would be your advice to them? What would you say to them? Would you tell them to rest? Would you tell them to slow down? Would you, offer them support? How would you treat them? You would probably say, hey, I think you've got too many things on your plate, and I think maybe you need to take it a little bit easier, because it just feels like maybe you're not treating yourself as important as well. You're not prioritizing yourself and your needs, and you're just as important as everybody else and as everything else. We come from this hustle culture and this hustle generation, and I think a lot of people are starting to feel the very deep weight of that, where we really feel like we have to be perfect. We have to really, really be these immaculate people that have all of our I want to say our shit together. We gotta be making a lot of money. We gotta have a great family. We've gotta have a great career. We have to travel. We have to be creative. We have to, give back to our communities. We have to raise our kids. We have to eat healthily and look after our bodies. And there's all this pressure about like what we need to be and who we need to show up as in society in order for us to feel like that we actually have meaning and value. And that's so much pressure, and I think that a lot of us are struggling under that right now, where we feel like we really, really have to show up as so much more than any one person is actually honestly capable of. I think there's this myth that we have to have everything kind of working and right all at the same time, and that we have to be perfect in order to fit in. And it's so funny because we are already perfect by our nature. I see this person here trying to paint butterfly wings, and I feel like that's us trying to improve something that doesn't actually need to be improved, something that is already actually quite perfect in its natural sort of state. But we try to change it, and we try to always improving, always make things better, always trying to just achieve more beauty, more money, more health, more self-improvements, more, perfection. Like we're constantly craving this illusion of perfection, and it's unnecessary. Human beings, we are perfect even with our flaws. That is what makes us perfect. That is how we've been designed and how we've been intended to experience this life, And I think that this is the driving force for sometimes our overwhelm, why we are trying to do all these different things. It's this literal, I gotta be better, I gotta be better, I gotta be better. And I'm guilty of that too. I've definitely experienced that in myself many, many times, where I sometimes have to take a step back and say, well, I am putting so much pressure on myself to show up in a certain way, that I'm actually showing up in a way that I don't like. And isn't that just ironic, because I'm feeling so much pressure, feeling stressed out, I'm tired, I've just got this huge, just so many things I'm trying to do, and I'm stretched so thin, and I'm not grounding myself, and I'm not giving back to myself. And so I end up I show up cranky. I do things and I say things that I wouldn't normally do and say. I don't prioritize the things and the people that I should be prioritizing, because I'm trying to focus my attention on things that aren't actually really all that important, and I forget about what is important, and I can't really achieve my dreams because I'm just so distracted by everything that's going on at the same time. So maybe you feel like that too. Maybe you can relate, and if that is you, then I really do once again encourage you just to take a step back and really realize that you don't need to change yourself perpetually in order to be good enough, or in order to be perfect, because you are already perfect in the eyes of spirit and in the eyes of God. You you are part of nature. Nature doesn't make mistakes. Everything that human beings might consider to be a flaw is just a part of the being. It is a part of the process. We have very dualistic thinking, in the sense of we see good and we see bad, but in nature that doesn't actually exist. We don't look at a leopard that kills a deer and go, wow, that was a violent attack, and how dare that leopard take the life of another living creature. And what a bad leopard. We don't do that. And obviously, I'm not condoning we behave like that as human beings, because obviously there's different things to consider in that equation. But what I'm trying to say is that we honor that is a part of nature, that is the nature of the leopard, that is the nature of that animal. In order to survive, that it has to do that, it's operating from its nature. And we too have our own natures, and yes, we can strive to be better people, and yes, we can strive to achieve so much in this lifetime and have all these experiences, but also we don't need to be a certain way to be perfect, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if I'm getting my message across very well today, but I'm hoping that it's going to strike with, the right person who needs to hear that, that you and by yourself are already good enough. You don't need to achieve some random pie in the sky ideal, a dream that somebody else sold you and told you that that is what perfection looks like. That's what I'm trying to say, is like you are already good enough, you are already whole enough, you are already perfect in your own way, even with whatever's going on in your life, even if you're not achieving everything, even if you're a little bit scattered and all over the place, you're doing a great job. And I just want you to know that. And spirit sees that, and spirit encourages you as well to really just give yourself a little bit more time and space and self-compassion, and try not to do everything all at once this week. So please, please, please take some time out, ground yourself. Really, if you need time away from people and you need time away from too much sort of chatter and noise and social media and that images of perfection as well, please do take that time for yourself. I highly encourage it. And don't worry about a thing. Everything is gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be okay. This is just a phase that we're all going through. There's so much clearing out right now. There's so much being finished off and just really being swept out the front door finally, and that can be a really messy process, but in the end, we are all going to be so much better off for it. So I'm wishing you such a beautiful week ahead. I'm sending you lots and lots of love. Please take care of yourself. You're really, really special, and you're really important, and you have such an important role to play on this planet. So please don't burn yourself out. We need you. Sending you so much love. Bye.